Capricorn.
Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to Virtual Tarot.
And 2015.
2015, yay!
Yay! Ava and I are having a slumber party.
We are here in Cassadaga.
Yep, we're waiting for the year to change.
Yes.
And we're getting really close.
Yeah.
And it's the countdown.
Yeah.
So what are we doing? We're reading cards for you.
Ooh. So, I'm Ava.
I'm Trudy.
And welcome to your readings.
So why are we here at Cassadaga? Because Cassadaga is the spiritualist, I guess you would say, Mecca.
Mecca for the southeast portion of United States. And it's quite historical here. It dates back to really the turn of the century.
Right. 1876.
Not this last century, but the previous one, 20th century. And it has to do with the empowerment of women, both the spiritual, psychic aspects of them, and also the political and social rights. This very interesting historical community in that, well, there's psychics and mediums. Every other house, or every house practically,
right,
has a medium or a psychic or a tarot card reader in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it historically dates back to the turn of the 20th century.
Right. And you know what's so neat about the entire thing? I didn't realize that, our mission is to help women reclaim the power of the sacred feminine,
Mm-hmm.
but that is all very much intertwined with women, reclaiming their rights, both just in terms of
social rights.
Social rights, yeah.
Right to vote, the right to own property.
Exactly.
Which is what Susan B. Anthony was
a big part of.
Was the probably the major proponent.
She was a major suffragette.
A suffragette.
Yeah.
The first real suffragette.
And she was also involved in this place.
And she was. And so
she was an inspiration, because this place actually was formed by many women who were like Susan B. Anthony, who were also suffragettes.
Well, we're suffragettes.
Yes. So that's us. We're suffragettes.
We're suffering.
We're suffering.
But that's,
we suffer for the cause of Virtual Tarot.
We do. But it's a beautiful community, and I would recommend highly that you come and visit it. We had a few readings here, and they were quite marvelous.
Yeah, it was really fun.
So yeah, it was fun.
Even psychics enjoy psychic readings.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah. And then we bill it all to research, right?
Yes, we do.
We make sure and get receipts, and you'll appreciate that as a Capricorn. Would you like a receipt for that reading? Oh, yeah. That's a write-off.
Yes.
So, anywho, let's get down to what we do.
You.
Yeah,
yes.
Capricorn.
Capricorn.
And what we do here at Virtual Tarot is a 4-card spread, and we do it every month, and we're going to do it in the year of January 2015. And the first card represents
the overall tone or energy of the month of January 2015.
Yes, and
second card represents
you or me.
You go ahead.
Challenges.
And the third is the unexpected.
And the fourth represents the outcome, or what you might expect to sort of unfold during the month, and then we'll discuss the entire reading just a bit, and then there'll be just a short wrap-up at the very end, and like an animation. So that said, are you ready to do a little recap?
I am, so let's start.
Let's start. All right, so let's do a little bit of a recap for Cappie.
Yes, for December of 2014, last month of the year, you had...
Should we let these guys do it? Yeah, right. Well, they're not, yeah. I mean, you guys were not pigs.
No, they never are, really.
No, Caps are never like piggy. Like, who was piggy? Virgo was a little piggy.
They were a little bit piggy.
Yeah.
Yes.
They got a lot of 9 of Cups, which is the little piggy card.
Yes.
But you guys last month got the Ace of Swords in the position of environment. It's a good card in the upright.
Right.
Because it just means you've got some clarity going on.
You got clarity, and maybe even a good idea came to you out of the blue.
Right.
And or that you felt very self-righteous, actually. Truth, wielding the sword of truth somehow
Yeah, self-righteousness comes into play a little bit. Yeah,
it does a little bit.
But that's okay.
It does.
Because the rest of the month was really nice. You know, there was
Yes.
the second card that we had was the Three of Swords, which is a healing card, and that was in the position of challenge.
Yes, so
but
your
it looked
challenge was
as
to
if,
heal.
yes, the unexpected was the Six, right, of Swords?
The unexpected was the Six of Swords, so you might have had to actually move.
Mm-hmm.
Or you were simply leaving behind troubled waters. That is, anything that was in your life causing you emotional disturbance or mental disturbance.
Yeah.
You were finally able to leave that, or at least head out from that into the future.
So if there was anything that was bugging you, basically, you just kind of intellectually moved away from that.
Yes. And you had someone who was actually helping you, so there may have been some assistance, some aid in that transformation of
But
circumstance.
it was definitely a healing.
It was yes, it's
and
a
it
healing
was a
card.
sort of a way of reframing a situation. Sometimes we reframe a situation by actually physically moving away from that situation.
It's funny because I see it as a refugee card.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when that family has just been through some crisis of some sort, and they are being ferried by the ferryman away from that situation into a much more peaceful and tranquil circumstance. And so whether that is literally true or just metaphorically true within you, there's movement ahead, movement forward.
And the last card was the Four of Wands, and that goes along with what you're saying.
Yes, yes.
Because, you know, you do find a place of refuge, which the Four of Wands is like foundation. It's like structure, you know, so
and wands are creative, the creative spirit. It can often be the arts. It can be even just your career, and you're being welcomed through a gateway into a realm in which you find more spiritual stability.
It's kind of the welcome mat card too.
It's the welcome mat card.
So wherever you go, you know, people actually want you there. Just kind of nice. It's better than not being wanted there. So, okay, ready?
Ready.
Let's move into 2015.
Okay.
And remember, we're on a road trip, so there might be some weird sounds. We're actually in our room here, and it's called the Lilac Room, which we're in because our videographer, cameraman likes to wear lilac. Okay.
Yes.
That's why we chose this room.
That's why.
Because he blends in.
You can't even see him.
Right.
So let us tell our Capricorn friends
And our dates.
And our dates.
Because we're going out soon.
These
are our dates.
That's all we can get.
That's
Last
right.
minute.
We've been fighting over the monkey, but actually, no, she wants the pig.
I do.
So, okay, so we're moving on to a 4-card spread for you guys. And the first card in the position
of the overall tone of the month of January is the Hierophant. So, the Hierophant.
The Hierophant
is your first card of the overall energy of the month of January for you, Capricorn.
Let's talk a little bit about the Hierophant. The Hierophant represents the church. The Hierophant represents blessing, because here we see, if you look at the card, you'll see that we have this sort of Pope-like figure with the Piscean Pope hat.
Yes.
Which is always kind of interesting because, believe it or not, the Pope wears the fish hat, which is the sign of Pisces.
So that's the astrological influence on Christianity that they never admit.
So that's right.
They just wear it.
Right, so if you ever see that little fish on the back of a car, which is supposedly representing Jesus, it is actually from the age of Pisces.
Yes.
Yeah, which Jesus was born into the age of Pisces.
He was,
yeah.
yes.
So this is the age of the Hierophant.
Yes.
the age of Pisces.
And what it can, on a mundane level, represent is marriage.
It can, and we discussed that just a few moments ago.
Marrying in January. And there are a lot of people who do marry in January.
Right.
And
so it's a card that represents institution.
oh, but you know, we have a lot of followers in Australia where it's warm. This is their summer.
Well, that's true.
And they would be married in January, in the warm months of
That's right.
December, January, and February, and March.
Yeah, that's true.
So it makes sense for our southern hemisphere.
It does, but you know, it's kind of
Capricorns.
it's like a new year. And so if we were going to speak of the new year sort of in a more global way, which is interesting because we are asking you guys for your global predictions this year via video.
Your predictions.
Yes.
Something you feel might happen in 2015 that is of some note, of some merit, of some interest, something that maybe you've had visions. We'd like to hear about it. So,
so
what
this
would you like
for
to say,
the
Trudy?
environment overall for Capricorn for the year of 2015, it could be more of a. It's like this represents the orthodox side of I guess society, the more orthodox side, because if this was upside down, which is how we like it,
yes,
it represents the bohemian. And so, you know, if you sort of around you have found yourself in the past in sort of a bohemian sort of, you know, environment, it may become a little less so. It may become a little more traditional, and that is really what this card is about.
it's about tradition, and it also is about institutions, consequently, and of course the church being one of the biggest institutions in the world, and but it can be learning institutions as well.
Well, the reason I brought the whole bohemian thing up is that we're in Cassadaga, and Cassadaga is pretty bohemian.
Yes,
So,
very.
yes, it's sort of the flip side of this card. This is what is acceptable.
Right.
And what is not only acceptable, but has been adopted by, you know, society or, you know, a country.
Yes, it's the doctrine.
The doctrine, which has been adapted. So that is kind of what colors the entire month.
So some doctrine that you have to adjust to. Perhaps you're the purveyor of that doctrine.
Right.
Could be because Capricorns are they can be very conservative.
But they can be pretty bohemian too, because it's an earth card. Or it's an earth sign, I'm sorry. You guys are an earth sign. And so Capricorns sometimes really enjoy large plots of land.
Oh, yes.
They like to live, you know, and have some acreage around them. You know, and when you have a lot of acreage, you can sort of live in your own sort of little
Empire.
Yeah, you can make up your own sort of rules, which can mean you could live a more bohemian lifestyle. But this is like the cutting of the hair.
Oh, yes.
And adapting to suit and tie.
It's also very spiritual too. As I say, Capricorns tend to be underrated as a spiritual sign, and you know that nuns and priests and those people who are connected with more traditional religious institutions are not without deep spiritual impulses, of course, and so it just is channeled in a very orthodox I suppose doctrine or behavior, or the ideas are institutionalized, and Capricorns tend to feel more comfortable.
Well, it's kind of like
that
safe.
kind of spiritual.
Yeah, it's like taking the the road most traveled.
Right, right.
You know? Which isn't always a bad thing.
It doesn't matter how you get there, as long as you get there.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
And if you want to take a road that's
the crowded
paved
highway.
and
there are a lot of rest stops
well
along
tread,
the way.
you know, that's fine. That's fine. So let's see what their challenge is.
Oh, okay. In the position of challenge. Wow, that's your card.
All right.
And
you are the Queen of Pentacles.
Yes, and that's in the position of challenge. I call it the Birkenstock Queen.
The pragmatic Queen.
Yeah, she's the one who wears the sensible shoes.
Yes.
And for some reason this month it's actually a challenge for you. And you're opening the month with that, which for some reason, maybe it's this, maybe it's the wedding, maybe it's the, you know, sort of there's some sort of tradition that's surrounding you, which is creating this inability to sort of practice what you preach, I guess, because Capricorn always preaches practicality. You know, so I think it's interesting. I kind of like to see what else we have.
Right, let's
coming
see,
up
because
here.
that's odd. Let's just see. Yes, so they had that. You know that's that?
Right. Okay. So up comes the Ace of Swords in the position of the unexpected. And as Ava was saying, you had that card in the overall environment, sort of ending the year.
The beginning.
Or, well, no. The end of the year last year.
Oh, I see.
You had the card in the overall environment. So it's showing up in the position of the unexpected, and
so it means that it's still infusing its energy into the month of January for you as well. So some sort of feeling that you have to go out there and fight for a cause, fight for the right. It's self-righteousness again. Fight for your idea.
What is that song? We have to fight for the right to party. Have you ever heard that song? That's a great song.
I haven't, Trudy. I have not heard that song.
Well, they might have to fight for the right to party. Because I was just thinking, you know, it's almost New Year.
We're silly, aren't we?
All right. Yes. So, yeah, I mean, you have to fight for the right unexpectedly to...
Yeah, you have to fight for an idea, for your idea.
Your cause.
And unexpectedly. But your challenge is to remain with your feet on the ground. To not get too...
caught up in the cause.
Caught up in the cause.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense when you look at this card.
Yeah, to not get too intellectual about it.
Because this is the institution.
Yes.
The overall environment. So maybe the cause has something to do with, you know, tradition. You're trying to uphold tradition. Or...
Well, if it's a school, it makes sense to me. Because if they're going back to school, or something to do with, you know, the scholastic demands of an institution of learning, that you have to, in a sense, come up with your fresh new ideas, and yet you have to remain grounded, practical, and so that you can weave that into the institution, because institutions of learning don't always favor ideas that are too outside of what's acceptable ideologically, philosophically, from what is considered proper.
But there's some sort of yearning for this tradition, because last month, at the end of the month, we had this Four of Wands.
Oh, yes.
Which is really like this homecoming thing. So it feels very much like Capricorn is sort of like looking for this safe harbor. And the harbor is surrounded this month by tradition, which is very comforting.
Right.
But we still have this cause going on.
Right.
Which last month, the cause sort of, it felt as if the cause was driving you, spurring you toward tradition. You know, and whatever that tradition
Let's see how
may
it
be.
is. I've got to see how it is.
Family tradition. You know, it ends with the Ten of Wands. And this is a card that actually sometimes Ava and I don't
agree on.
There are a couple that we don't, it's not that we don't agree, but we just see this card in
very different ways.
Yes.
Tell them how you see the card.
Well, to me, the 10 has to do with, and you see this fella, he's sort of bent over. You know, that sort of body language tells me that you're feeling a little overwrought, perhaps. You've taken on a lot of responsibility, and although you're, you know, upholding your end of the bargain, you may actually feel a little angry. You may be a bit of a martyr. You may be complaining. But you're getting it done at the same time. So, and I always tell Ava when this card comes up in a Gemini reading that I'm going to do a lot of complaining this month.
Yeah. Well, certainly I do see it as being overwrought because of the body gesture of sort of being bent over, and the fact that he really can't see his way because he has all his wands in front of him. But as I also see it is that you're trying to bring home, to bring in to the market all that you've reaped, all that you've collected, your ideas, your inspirations, that which fired you, you know. You're trying to bring it into a place where you can market it, but you don't know where that is because the thing itself obscures your ability to see how you can market it. You see? Mm-hmm. So you want very much to, you've finished, in a sense, something, and you want to bring it out to the public, but you can't figure out how to get it out there because you're blinded by the thing itself. It's burdened you, it's taken your energy out, it's taken so much to get it to the point of finish that you really can't see how to get it out into the financial marketplace. You know, that's an interpretation of it.
Well, you know, it still looks like it's a part of last month. This reading really is, to me, a reinterpretation of what happened last month. Although there's a lot of movement going on, and this is a major arcana card, so this is really, you know, something that you're moving toward. This is sort of like a part of your life where you know, that's what major arcana is, where we move in and out of each of these sort of archetypes. And the archetype that surrounds you this month, Capricorn, is the archetype of tradition, an accepted value system. So you are moving through that archetype with this sense of you know, it's like a two-sided sort of thing, because I see it as, wow, it feels really comforting and solid. Yeah,
it's comfortable for a Capricorn, isn't
right it? And really the footing is very solid. However, there are other things going on too, because it has you a little bit challenged in you know, really for some reason keeping your feet on the ground in terms of not taking on too many projects or more than you really can take on. And that is because you're inspired.
You're inspired. You're truly inspired.
Like, yeah, because it's like this cause, like you, and that's this is the most interesting card, I think, in the reading, because it's come up 2 times.
Right.
And it's the Ace of Swords, and this is another one that sometimes we don't see exactly the same way, because, you know, to me, it's like this, you know, sort of, you know, you want to get your idea out there, and it's just this one sort of really, like, it's almost like when somebody says something, or they have this idea over and over and you can't get them off the dime kind of thing. So it's sort of like you need to balance that sort of from a practical position, and be a little bit more practical about how you sort of present that, I guess, is how I see that. Because this month, it seems to me as if, you know, you're so inspired by this cause that, you know, it causes you to sort of not like let other people sort of, you know, take
a part in what you're doing. That's what I see here, because you're taking all of these wands
onto yourself.
Okay, that's it. That's all I have to say.
Oh, that's true. The only thing is, the positive thing is that it's got a crown and the dangling wreath from the crown. So there's a certain amount of victoriousness in the idea, the notion, the truth you see, and so that's what inspires you. But yes, at the end, you're a little bit blinded by.
But that's minor stuff.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you know.
The most important card is the first one.
Right, which you're able to like somehow, like really immerse yourself into whatever this traditional like sort of, you know, because we had the Four of Wands at the end, so there's almost like this traditional space.
Yes.
That you are like taking your cause into.
Yes.
And you're so excited that you do like every single job. Like if there's the list of jobs, you're like, I'll do them all.
Right.
And everybody else is sitting there going, hey, I'd like to bring some cupcakes. You know, like I'll bring everything. Just don't worry about it.
I'll do it all. Don't worry.
And then at the end, like right before,
oh my God,
right beforehand,
you're
up baking cupcakes at like 2 o'clock in the morning for your church meeting or whatever the traditional, you know, fun, like sort of situation that you
maybe some of our
built.
Capricorn fans are becoming nuns of some sort.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah,
it could be.
The world needs more nuns.
It does.
Right. Or and if you're getting married, actually, it just means that you're very forceful in terms of what you want.
Yeah, your idea of what the wedding will be.
You're a bridezilla.
But at the end, you are completely exhausted.
Yeah.
You get it done, but you're exhausted.
Yeah.
So you're a beleaguered bride.
That is the Capricorn.
That is it.
Reading for the month of January.
Yes.
And it is a whole new year. And so Ava, and well, mostly Ava has come up with this idea, which I think is super cool. We want to know what your predictions are, global predictions.
Yeah.
For 2015.
So send them in either via video or just email us or audio file it, you know, and we'll post those that we find very interesting, you know.
And check our Facebook page, because we're going to post, if you get hung up, we'll go ahead and post some ideas in terms of what you can, you know, sort of base your global predictions on. You know,
it'd be interesting to see, because there are a lot of psychic people out there.
Yep.
And maybe through your dreams or through what
a 4-card spread.
A 4-card spread.
Do a 4-card spread.
You might be able to come up with something. So that's it.
So anyway, and also we offer the council card. Click below and it'll pop right up. Also, our global predictions will be in that council card area. Everything is $4.95 for everything this month, last month, the month before, and the global predictions.
And the global predictions.
Subscribe. Ava's awesome. She does the global predictions. She does everything. She does it all. And we also offer personal readings.
Hello.
So if you would like to know a little bit more about your situation, because these readings are obviously for everyone.
Yes.
Every Capricorn.
A more specific reading for you. More personal. More
check
intimate.
below.
If there's any problem that you have, we keep all information private, believe me. And I will, and she will, try to help you as best we can to connect you with your guiding spirit and to help solve some of the problems you might be having. So that said, I guess we should get ourselves tucked in and ready for our celebration. 2015! Ready? Ready. Okay. Oh. Bye. Bye.